moment.
Yeah.
Master your mindset. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Master Your Mindset, the 6th annual global summit from Coaching Minds, an EMCC-accredited coaching school. My name is Julie Blint and I'm an EMCC-accredited transformational coach, thanks to Coaching Minds. And I'll be your host for the first 2 days of the summit. Over the 3 days, 9 coaches will be sharing their knowledge, experience, and practical approaches to mindset and personal growth. Each 45-minute session explores a different topic and is followed by a 15-minute live question and answer section. So if you are joining us live, you'll be able to put your questions to our speakers through the chat. Don't worry if you think that not many other people are connected to the chat. This is being broadcast over a variety of different platforms. So there's going to be different people everywhere, including our Coaching Minds hub. Then if you're watching the recording, we hope you'll take the time to pause, reflect, and consider how each session relates to your own life. We're beginning the summit with Razan, founder of Bvisionry. So I'm going to hand it over to Razan now, who is going to explain all about who she is, what the session's about, and what you are going to take away from it at the end. But before I do hand over, Razan, I would just like to ask you why you decided to choose this topic today. Or does that come up in your introduction?
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the introduction, so I'll keep it at the end and then I'll explain later. Now, the why had a variety of topics, but this one specifically is close to my heart, and because I know that it had several people, so I thought it could be a good idea for us to also bring it to a live session.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to hand it over to you then. And then I'll see you again for the question and answer section.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Julie. And I'm very excited to be here and speaking at the Master Your Mindset Summit. So mindset sits at the heart of what I do. And I'm really looking forward for all the upcoming sessions because there's never enough learning when it comes to mindset. It's a continuous process and it's not a one-time thing basically that I can cover all. Before we start, again, Razan, I'm just saying it so that you hear the pronunciation correctly. I'm based in Palestine. I am the CEO and co-founder of Bvisionry. And I started my coaching journey back in 2020. And I'm still learning. So currently I'm working on my organizational coaching certificate here at Coaching Minds. And coaching obviously played a major role in my life. It is what taught me how to have a clear mind as a person. And because of it, I stopped running away from myself. I learned how to be present. And the most important thing, I understand why I act the way I do. And all of this combined throughout the years is helping me to live my day-to-day and be able to make regular decisions, assertive, clear ones. And this introduction is just to give you a highlight of why do I love coaching. And accordingly, I made it my life's mission to pave the path for others. And by others, I mean those who want it, because if you don't want it, no one can actually help you with it. And that is also applicable to mindset. No one can go and change a chip in your mind and say, voila, now you changed your mindset. It needs to come from within, something that you truly want and something that you feel like you're ready to put the effort in it right now. So accordingly, I do pave the path, and I offer simple tools, yet efficient, to help those who I work with in order to achieve and create the life that they want. Now, Bvisionry, I started it to help entrepreneurial ecosystem builders to increase the success rates in startups. The data shows, and it's internationally, that only 10% of those startups succeed. And those startups, I work directly with their founders to help them shift their mindset from implementers, because we've been taught in schools how to be employees. No one taught us how to build businesses, and it requires a completely different mindset. So that's exactly what we do to shift the mindset from implementers to builders. And the belief that founders can bring their visions to life comes from something bigger. And it is that we all, as people, have so much power within us to do and to create and to build whatever we want in life. So the question is, if we all have that power within us, how come only 10% are able to do it right now? And what happens to the power of the remaining 90%? Again, before we start today, I don't want you to think that I am promising in any way whatsoever a magic shift. I am just here to present a tool because we all start somewhere. And I hope that this tool can actually help you with creating awareness and to start catching your own invisible power leaks. We don't want to go and test it on others yet. Let's create awareness within, and then we can see what we're going to do about it. So I keep saying that the tool is simple. The tool is simple. Again, if you don't find it simple, the first times we do something, it's usually hard. Yet the more we practice it, it becomes really simple. Okay, so if right now you feel like it's a bit complex, just give it some time, work with it, and then you can decide if it resonates with you or not. And this is also should be applicable for all the coming sessions, those who are going to introduce tools to you. So all we're going to be covering today is fairly simple. We're going to go to 4 steps, 1 step at a time. And what we're going to start by doing, step number 1 is, it's fine, bear with me for the first few minutes, because I do want to explain to you some core definitions. So I said we all have the power within us, but what do I mean exactly by power? So I do want us to go to the power as a term and explain it so that we're all aligned on what we're doing here. And also I'm going to be explaining this power leak or this force that I talked about. Again, it's not the only power leak, it's just one of the power leaks that we may have. As the second step, we're going to go and understand why this happens to us as human beings. And a third step, we're going to go to start creating awareness to some terminology that we use on a daily basis or hear on a daily basis. They're simple, and we're going to go through them one by one, and we're going to talk about them, what they mean, their impact, and we're going to see if we catch them, what we can do with those phrases. Then we're going to go and try to flip it, not necessarily that part I don't promise, but the promise part is with creating the awareness. So right now, before we start, and this is for your own eyes only, I don't want you to share it unless you feel super comfortable with it. If you would start and write down one situation you're currently facing in your life that you would like to flip, and what we mean by it. It could be a situation that you're in and you're not happy about it. it could be an obstacle, it could be a person, it could be anything, basically. So just write it in one sentence, and I'll give you a second before we proceed. Because I'm going to start with some definitions, and I hope you find them interesting, but the core of what we're doing today. So again, I did mention power. We have the power within us. So let me explain to you what I mean by power. I would take an example, a very simple example. I'd like to hear if you heard it before in your life. A job that you hate or someone else hates. People usually go around and say, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job. So that is something that I personally super familiar with, because I did spend a long years in HR, and I worked a lot with employees, and I still coach people. So I hear it a lot, a job that I hate. And I want you to look at it from this lens, where it says, if I sit and reflect and I ask myself, what is it about my job that I hate? I'm going to keep searching and find out several things. It's going to be a manager that I do not like, I don't get along with very well. That person micromanages me, regardless of what the reason is. It could be they don't show me any appreciation. The second one, it could be that my tasks are routine, they're boring, they're not challenging me, or sometimes they're ultra challenging. Every day there is a challenge, an obstacle is just too exhausted. Or it could be colleagues, work, toxic environment, could be anything basically, right? Or all of the above. So now if you notice, what happened here is we took the power away, because it's my job, okay? And we took the power away where I gave it to something external, something else, not myself, something out there in the universe, the manager, the work environment, the task, and so on. So for us to define power, again, I'm giving this example not to give you a lecture about it. I'm just giving it to explain to you that power is my ability as a person. Remember, we're here in Master Your Mindset, so the shift starts. It's the ability to shift my focus as a person away from the things that are outside of my control, the manager, the colleagues, the work environment, and onto put it in what I can actually do to go where I want to go. So in this specific example, it is, I do want to enjoy my job, as simple as that. So instead of focusing on what's happening to me, I want to see what can I do in order to start liking my job. Could be I need to change it, could be I want to talk to my manager, could be hundreds of things basically. Here we're not finding a solution, we're just talking about what power is. So it's again the ability to shift my perspective from what I cannot control to what I can control, so that I can achieve the end desired results. Okay, now, the situation that you wrote down, if you take another second and write underneath it, what is the desired outcome that I want? The thing that you're rejecting, the thing that is heavy, that is painful, the obstacle, the person, what do you want instead? And by the time you do that, we're going to go to the power leak that we're going to cover today. And that power leak is called blame. And I often ask the people that I work with, do you blame? Like just a question, it's a yes or no question. And usually the response is, no, of course not. I take responsibility. No, of course not. I am a person that I never point fingers. So the word blame obviously scares us because we see it as an enemy, right? I do want us to, we don't want it, it's a power leak, right? But I want us to look at it from a different lens and look at it instead of no, I don't do it, to a place where, what is it telling me? Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to be covering. But before we do that, I want you to know that blame is a coping mechanism when we are in an uncomfortable position. It's a way for us to be able to deal with the situation. So it's a coping mechanism, a way to discharge comfort. Once we look at blame like this, then okay, fine. I know what it means, but why it happens. And I do want you to understand what happens in the back end, in the back of your head, so that you understand why do we tend to blame. By the way, the first sentence that I gave as an example, I hate my job, it's full of blame. When you see it, sounds innocent, like a regular sentence, you didn't think it's blame. And we're going to see why. But let me explain to you something before we dive deeper and start working with the exercise. I want you to know that our subconscious, our brain, our minds are made up of the logical mind, which is the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is 95%, while the logical mind is a 5%. Let's say that your subconscious mind is fighting with your conscious mind, which is logical mind. Who is going to win? It's an easy answer. It's the 95%. It's bigger. It's more powerful. It's everything, right? So what happens there? Our subconscious mind's main role in life is to protect us from danger, right? Now, the question is, how does it identify danger? And that's the funny, sad part. Danger for our subconscious mind is everything that we're not familiar with. It's the unknown. So it likes the known and hates the unknown. It doesn't matter. The known, good, bad. So for example, smokers, they know smoking kills and it's bad. How many are able to quit? Because the subconscious mind attaches it with something that it knows. Accordingly, it is something that it likes. And if you go and decide to quit smoking, I don't want to make it about health issues here, then your subconscious mind is going to not allow you easily to do it, okay? So blame by itself, because my subconscious mind wants me to feel comfortable, be calm, be happy, what it does is I face something that I don't feel comfortable with. I face an obstacle. I face something painful, like heavy, okay? So what it does to protect me, it knows if I want to deal with it, then I'm going to need to put effort and I'm going to need to put action. Okay, take action. So my subconscious mind loves to protect me. So it gives me a reason, which is focused on what you cannot do about it instead of what I can do about it. The result, if I can do nothing about it, it means that I fell in the trap. And now that's exactly what happens to our power when we feel powerless. If the problem is 100% out there, it's not my problem, right? Then we engineered our realities where we are powerless and we cannot fix it. So I hope by now you understand what power is. You understand the power leak that we're covering today, which is blame, what it means, why it happens to us. And now it is time for us to start and working, which is step 3, on the words that we use that usually gives away our power. So let's start with our first phrase. The simplest phrase, it says, they don't get it. If you look at it, and if you can take a second and add to the comment box, what do you think the power leak is in this sentence? It's one word. Anyone? You can just try, it's fine. I'll proceed if no one comments. Okay. This is the first one. Again, the names that I'm going to present to you right now, like you want. Okay, thank you, Donna. Yes, they. These are not something that you can find online, okay? Not on AI. Thank you, guys. It's correct. It's they. Blame, again, it's not us, it's them. Okay, again, let me hold on for the blame. It is the they. And what I call it here is the invisible they. Why is it invisible they? Let me tell you exactly what it means. Right here, if we look at it, we are blaming a group, because a group of people with no name and no face, okay? So if I am blaming something that I don't know, then what the impact is, it says that if I don't have a name and a face for this person, so I'm gonna still be stuck. Again, the example was they don't get it. They never listen. If I don't know who is they, I will never be able to go and talk to that person or to that group of people and make it work. Right now, we're not going to work again on the solution. I just want you to be aware of these invisible leaks. Once I catch it, what can I do? I can just go and ask myself a super simple question. Who exactly is they? Once I'm able to identify they, I can start taking action. Yet, if there is no name, you're going to still be stuck. See, that's our first simple phrase. Look at your situation and say if the invisible they exists within that situation that you just wrote down. And let's move to our next sentence. Mistakes were made. Deadline was missed. Would you like to try and, again, see what is the invisible power leak here? What is it exactly? What do you hear? What's in common between those two sentences? I'm sure we're all familiar with them. I hear it all the time. Like, mistakes were made, the deadline was missed. Would you like to try? No ownership. But where exactly is it in this sentence? Thank you, okay. Who made the mistake? That's beautiful. Okay, so what is it telling us here? That it's nobody's fault. That's the name of this power leak. When we catch ourselves using a third party that we don't know who that third party is, we know that there is a power leak here. We're not taking our action. We're not putting effort in our subconscious minds trying to protect us. So what is the issue? What is the impact with this one? It sounds humble. It sounds like I'm a polite person. It sounds like I just don't point fingers. And it all comes from a place where we think mistakes are something bad that we need to avoid. Okay? So if we look at mistakes from that perspective, and again, maybe most of us were raised in schools, we get grades. If you get lower grade, you did a mistake, you're not good enough. And unfortunately, we were not taught how to look at mistakes in a healthy manner. Like, if I do not make a mistake, I would never learn. Okay, so we don't want to go to shifting the perspective. I'm just explaining that whenever I hear myself giving it to a third party, I want to know that I am saying it's nobody's fault. And the impact of it, if no one owns it, someone just said ownership. It was okay, I think, again, nobody can fix it, right? So once I catch myself seeing these things, how about, Rawan just mentioned passive. Swap this passive phrase to a name, as simple as that, okay? And that's the second one. The third one is, if only my partner would meet me halfway, we'd finally be on the same page. Any idea where the power leak is in this sentence? Again, these are examples, but I'm sure we all use the previous two and the if only someone didn't do something. So I just said it anyways. It's the if only. The if only is one of the scary power leaks that we use in our terminology. And the if only means that I am at the waiting room. Just imagine that you're waiting somewhere. You're waiting for the doctor to see you. And sometimes you spend an hour or two waiting for our turn, right? If I wait at the doctor, doing nothing, staring at the ceiling, I'm going to be bored like hell, okay? I feel powerless and I cannot do anything about it. So right here, what I'm doing with this example is I'm waiting for my partner to do something. What is the impact of this waiting room? It sounds like hope, yet the reality is that I am pressing on a pause button because I'm waiting for someone else to act. And what if they never act? Am I gonna still put it on pause? Yes. And that is exactly where the power leak is. You stop moving until someone else does the act. And if I want to reclaim my power, I want to keep moving all the time. So if I catch myself using the if only, I can swap it with, what can I do instead of waiting? An example, if I'm waiting at the doctor's office, I know that I'm gonna wait because I always wait. I can just grab a book or download a podcast and spend my time basically working on it. Exactly, Murad. It is blaming something that I cannot control. Back to the definition of the power. Are you ready for the fourth phrase? Let's do it. This one says, the lack of communication, there's no support around here. What do you think the power leak is? I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna give you a cheat like the previous one. I'm just gonna wait until you comment on there's a lack of communication and no support around here. What do you think is the power leak here? Any idea? What do you see in common? There's a lack of communication, no support. Why you do something about it? Okay. So where's the power leak? You see negativity, okay. They're sort of all negative. Why don't you? Okay, interesting. So you're hearing something that tells you if there's no, do something about it. Okay, the power leak, it's general, not specific enough. Interesting, Khaled. It does, I can say it with the lack of communication. There's no support, definitely. It's vague. Lack, no support, exactly. So it's vague. It's not clear. Let's leave the generalization. It could be, yet it's mostly something that I do not understand. What is it lacking? Amazing. What, like, go do something. Okay. So exactly that. So that's why I call it the fog. If you ever experienced a fog, it's the vision is blurred. You can hardly see what's in front of you. And accordingly, you cannot really see clearly. And that's exactly those two examples. there's a lack of communication. Communication on its own is a big word. Yes, people use it, but what do you actually mean by it? Is it how I verbally communicate? Is it how you're interpreting my information? Is it how I write my text? What is communication, right? And the lack of, it's too broad, as Khaled and Murad mentioned now. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at its impact. This complaint has no edge, right? It's broad enough, and it could be explained and interpreted in a million ways. So the impact of it, if nobody, including I, can understand it, then what am I supposed to do with it? If I catch myself doing the fog sentence, I can just go be specific and name exactly what's missing in that piece. So there's no lack of communication. It could be something completely different. Anyways, by the end, we're just going to take a few examples of how they can look like when I start working on them. Okay? We have two more left, and I'm going to leave you with this one here, where it says the process is broken. The system just doesn't work. What do you see in common in those, and what do you think the power leak is? Anyone would like to try? What do you see in common? What could be our power leak when we use those sentences? What comes to your mind once you see them? Any ideas before I tell you? There's no support. What does no support mean? Broken, not working. Where is the power leak in those? Of course, broken and not working. Seems like the person is powerless. I'm so glad that you can actually see it. There are excuses. That's what you hear. What else? Let's take one more before I go and explain it. Once you see the name, you're going to understand basically. What it says is we're at the dead end. Just imagine you're driving your car and you reach to a dead end. What do? You just park your car because there's no way out there. And that's why it's a power leak. The statements read like, this process is broken. It's definite. It's a fact. Done. I'm not going to do anything about it, right? The system just doesn't work. You know what? Like, deal with it. It doesn't work. Okay? So what we see here, broken and doesn't work, they sound like there's no road past it. That's it. Done. Finito. Exactly, Murad. Nothing specific. So you stop looking for a way through. That's its impact. If it's dead end, then I'm not going to look for a direction because I just cannot move my car. What exactly isn't working and what can I do to improve it? Okay, so exactly that is something that you can ask yourself, the one when you hear yourself doing that. And what would I need to change for this to work is also a good question that I can ask myself so I can start taking action. Okay? The last one. This always happens. It never works out. And my favorite, I hear it so many times, internationally, by the way, not only locally in Palestine. The market is just too crowded, and that's why I cannot find a new job. Where is the power leak here? What do you think it is? This is our last one. What's the power leak here? Negative thinking, okay. What else do you hear? They're all, by the way, again, negative thinking. That's how I see them, but it's fine. We're not here to judge. We are here just to create awareness, observe, and get familiar with it. Okay. So it's the attitude. External control. Yes, they're all external control. Fixed mindset. Okay, that's the mindset. Yet, what do you see in common between all those? Anyone, anything? So look at the words. So if we look at always, never, to, what are these? I call them amplifiers. These are the generalizations that Khaled and Murad mentioned earlier. The lack of is also an example. It's just definite, basically. So think about amplifiers as when I use them, no room for it to change. By the way, all examples we gave make me feel powerless. I cannot reflect as a person. Thank you, Murad. Yet we are just trying to detect them, not because we're a police grammar in any way, just because we're trying to see where we're blaming. Okay, it's broken. Always equals generalization, yes. So when you hear those words, examples, of course, I want you to see that you turn the volume up. What do I mean by you turn the volume up? It means that it's just not true. When I say you always, never, to, it means we are making something that happened once or twice a general rule. And that's why we call them generalizations, amplifiers, okay? When you catch yourself doing that, how about you swap the amplifier and say exactly how many times it happened, or say exactly what is not working out, or say exactly how many companies I applied and how many got back to me, for example. And now we completed all 6 power leaks. And I created here a table for you that you can go through it, right? And it's exactly what we covered here. It's the phrase, an example of it, what it means, and it is impact on us right now, how we catch it, and so on. Okay? Now, I created a short example so that we can go through it, and I hope you find it useful to see how we can move it and flip it to action. Okay? We can actually try to do that before I present it to you and take the first example now that we know what it is. The first example that they don't get it. Okay? Try to look at it and shift it now to something that has power and action. I just received this comment. Yes, we covered it. It's always and never. Thank you. That's one is for the amplifier. But now if you want to go and flip this example, they don't get it. What do you think you can replace it with? Noting that we're talking about the invisible they. Remember, we said the question that we're going to ask, who exactly is they? Can someone give us an example of how it can look like if we flip it to something that is powerful, that we can actually start taking action when we see it? Let me see if we have other examples. Or maybe the example, they never listen. See, never listen also here works as an amplifier because we have never. So we have Khaled says, like, a person's name has this exact problem with me. Okay, sounds really good, Khaled. Anyone else would like to try? I will do Z and fix that. Okay. I'm glad that you also make it sound simple because it should be super simple once you're able to catch it. Well, that's excellent. Thank you, Khaled, for sharing. Let's try the second one. Choose just one of them. Mistakes were made or the deadline was missed. How can you flip it so that it gives you the power to start taking action and where you can put effort? Anyone would like to try? Seems like we have a good active audience here. I'm super glad. I'm happy. We can learn from our mistakes. Okay, so here, remember, the power leak is, they're vague. We don't know, they're not vague. They don't have a name in them, someone. It's nobody's fault, remember? So instead of making it a fault and a mistake, we want to own it. How can we flip it in a way where we can start taking action? It's super simple. We missed the deadline. Next, okay, so again, the we goes back to the they. It's still we. Who is we? Who is it? I missed the deadline to do this reason. You can drop the reason, but you can also add it. It always helps us when there is no reason to go and own it before I give it reasons, right? So the idea is that I made this mistake. What made me make this mistake? How come I made this mistake? And from there, I can go to learning and ask myself, what have I learned? Exactly, Donna. Thank you for sharing XXX. So next time we will meet the deadline. That's beautiful. Thank you, guys. So you get it, right? Let's try this one. If only my partner meet me halfway, we'd finally be on the same page. Can you try to flip it? Again, remember, our power leak here is the if only. The if only is the waiting room. The if only I press the pause button and I'm waiting for someone else to do it. I did a mistake. Okay, so that's for the previous one. Raman, I just received your comment. Thank you. But yes, it makes perfect sense. But for the waiting room, if only my partner would meet me halfway, we'd finally be on the same page. What do you think? How can we flip it to something with power? What can I do to ensure my partner and I are, interesting. Okay, that's a beautiful way to state it. I need a new partner. That also works if you want. At least you're taking action, looking for a new partner. Okay, I will meet my partner halfway. That's a lovely one, actually. Like, how can I meet my partner halfway? When we compromise, we can tackle any problem. Thank you, Donna, for sharing. So you get it, guys. I'm really happy in their very creative ways. I will meet my partner halfway for this topic. That's beautiful. So what can I do to meet my partner halfway? See the flip, see the mindset shift. It makes all the difference. Yes, at the beginning, giving it to my partner is a relief. Yeah, creating the awareness that on the long run, that takes my power away. Shifting it, transforming it makes all the difference in how we do it. There's the lack of communication. There's no support around here. Let's try, because we are sort of running, we have 2 examples left. Let's try to see how we can shift this one. No, we still have 2 more, but when we say there is a lack of communication and there's no support around here, what do you think we can flip it? Because here it's the vagueness. It's the lack of. How can we flip it so that we reclaim our power back? Rawan, I don't know why your comments receive late, but you're saying my partner is making a move right now. Accordingly, I'll take the move and check. Okay. So we can try it for there's a lack of communication, there's no support around there. How do you think we can reclaim our power back? I would like to improve communication and support within this organization. That's lovely. Still, communication is still a bit vague. okay, as a word, and the support is not identified properly. What can I do to provide proper support, improve information flow between the team members? That's nice. We can dive deeper as well. Remember, support is vague. Specify the exact communication. I love that, Khala. Thank you. So once I am able to specify the exact communication problem and exactly the kind of support that they need, that they say, or I need, it makes all the difference. It's when communicate clearly, I can get the support I need. 100% Nona. Thank you for sharing that, guys. What's lacking in our communication and how can we improve it? That is beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. See, again, this is how we flip it. At the beginning, we're, yes, relieved. And then when we start working on it, it just shifts our energy. Like, yes, we're eager, we want to do it. So that is how powerful awareness is. The process is broken, the system just doesn't work. How can we flip it? Exactly, I need help with a specific task. Thank you for sharing. So this one, remember, we called that the dead end. I got nowhere. Oh my God, how many times I heard in my life, especially working with developers. So the company shifts the product around and they come to me and say, my work went to waste. Hear it all the time. And that's the huge power leak here. We get to a dead end. Oh, they put all my work in the trash can. I don't know if you're familiar, but I heard it so much. Those who actually lead at a tech company, I'm sure this all sounds familiar to you. How can we flip it, guys? What can we do about it? The process is broken. The system just doesn't work. Anyone? And now we're just going to get one after another. How can we improve the process so the system is more efficient? Interesting. Yes, that's nice. So now we're looking at the process differently in that manner. What else can we say instead of that? I'll give you mine. Let me look for mine. Sorry, the message dropped. Okay, how could we fix this? Interesting. So instead of going there, we can exactly start looking at what's not working exactly. So for example, what I said is the approvals take too long. So maybe you need to fix the approvals or not that. What can I do to fix the process and improve the system? Before we go there, let's understand exactly what's not working. It could be it's not working yet. We put effort there, right? So what learning are we getting from this experience? Okay. Now the last one, which is the amplifier, this always happens to me. It never works out or it's just too crowded. How can we flip those? So my example is, instead of saying this always happens to me, it happened twice this month when I talked to the specific person. So what can we do about it? What else comes to your mind? How can we flip this phrase? Anyone would like to try? Okay, until someone responds, I created a worksheet for you. It's a worksheet, not a worksheet. It's a typo. What helped and when? Specifications. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Vijaya. So Vijaya wants to ask questions instead. Yeah, so for the worksheet, guys, what I did is a practice sheet. I'll show it to you now. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and share another screen so I can show it to you. But wait, you know what? Before I stop sharing, I do want you to get the, sorry, went out of time. I do want you to get the QR code so they can see it yourselves. So if you can scan the code, it's going to take you to a worksheet. Let me know in the comment box if you were able to open it, please, so that we can go like through it really, really quickly before I answer your questions. I'm going to stop sharing. Anyways, I'm sure we can share with all of you later on. I'm going to share another screen. And this is what it is. Again, it's built on Bvisionary's website, but Bvisionary does not have access to it in any way whatsoever. And what it says is here, just to remind you of what power is, the meaning of it. So here you can start by writing your situation, whatever it is, and then you can go and look for your phrases that you used and catch your blame as a power leak. Then you can go and add here, from this experience, this situation, what do I have 100% control over? Like, what's mine to own? And what is that I cannot control? Remember the example, the manager that we gave, the task, the whatever. Write them down here and go and rewrite it as we did here, or flip it as we used the term. You have two options. Either you download it as a PDF and you keep it for your own self to see how you're progressing, get back to it later on, or you can just like start over where it deletes, and then you can see how you can benefit from it. Okay, I need to share this instead. Good. So Julie, I think you're gonna join me back to see if we have any questions, and I'm also happy to take them on myself. But let me remind you before I end this, practice makes progress. Each and every tool we learn, even if it's interesting, exciting to us, we have two options. It's either we do not use it and it rusts, or we actually use it, practice it until it becomes a second nature. And this is exactly where the mindset shift happens. If you just take it nice to have, then I promise you're never going to have a mindset shift. But if you want to master your mindset through the summit, practice the tools that you feel they can add value to you. And yeah, really hi again.
Hi.
Answer any questions.
Just like you to know that the QR code does work.
Okay, great, amazing.
I think the chat stopped working at a certain point. So,
okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Razan, for that thoughtful session. So we only have about 5 minutes left, but if anybody does have any questions and you're watching with us live, then do please pop them in the chat. Hopefully it's still working. Remember, there's no such thing as a silly question, and often the question that you're thinking about is exactly the one someone else is wondering too. So your question might be something about something that Razan has shared with us today, or an experience of your own. But we would love to hear from you. So if you do have a question, please do pop it in the chat. But while we wait for the questions to come in, if the chat is working, then I would like to get the ball rolling and ask you.
Go.
Sorry, for those of us listening and thinking, this sounds like me, but I don't know where to begin, what would you say to them?
So the entire idea is that I start with creating awareness. We don't need to pressure ourselves. Mindset is hard work. It's full of ups and downs. It's not a linear process, right? And it is one of the hardest things that people can do. No one's saying it's easy, okay? So let's take it easy on us and first understand, now you know, right? Second, start paying attention, and that is awareness, okay? So once I become aware, you can take this tool, try it once, twice, 3 times. You're gonna like it. It's gonna add value. You're gonna continue doing it until you get to a place where you do it automatically. You don't need to put much effort into it. You don't need to go through it step by step. You catch other people in movies, in interviews, in the news specifically. Like, watch the news now and hear all the blame words. Start playing with this tool so that it becomes easier for you to catch it and detect it when you do it yourself. Not for the purpose of judging people, but for the purpose of creating awareness. And that's where mindset starts with the shift, always starts with an awareness.
Do you have a personal experience that you'd like to share with us of when you started to become aware of this particularly?
So no, it's going to be hard for me to give you an exact example. I still do it, by the way, and I still catch myself. And I know exactly when I do it. It's mostly when I'm tired, when it takes me time to sit and reflect. So I still sit and reflect and say, oh, I blame this and that. They're external, they're not me. And usually I find myself in a situation where I have a lot on my plate, and accordingly, my logical mind is not activated. There are several tools to calm myself down. It's usually when I'm under stress. It's usually, so the idea is that we don't, it's not the idea that we stop doing it. The idea is that we catch ourselves when we're doing it and we flip it. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're not here to torture ourselves or say we're good, we're bad. Again, it's a self-mechanism. My brain did it for so many years that this is what it knows. And yes, so the answer is catch yourself, flip it. That's what we're doing right here and right now.
As I do think the chat has stopped working, unfortunately. The replay is going to be on YouTube. So if anyone does have anything they would like to ask Razan, then they can just put it in the comments there. And don't forget, there's the QR code up in the top left-hand corner, which will take you to Razan's website, so you can get some more information there and her contact details as well. So
I'm also active on LinkedIn, Julie, and usually I do respond to people on this part. So yes, anyone who has a question, feel free to directly reaching out to me.
Yeah. So thank you once again for your session. And we got our break now, and we'll be back with our second session of the summit, where we have neurodiversity coach Sharon Worth and her session on Whose Voice Is That? Rewriting the Rules You Didn't Choose. So yeah, I hope you can all join us in an hour's time, but meanwhile, have a nice little break or go and write those questions that you can write in the chat to Razan on LinkedIn or on YouTube or in the Coaching Minds Hub. Okay.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you for everyone who attended. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.